your faith and generous. The end of your life will be in this cage. You failed to navigate the maze.
Hey man, there you are. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, Richie. How
It's
are you
coming in a
today?
little bit. There we go. All is
Yeah.
good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Richie. Thank you. Thank you so much for giving me your time today for this interview. A real pleasure.
Oh, oh, of course, no worries, man. Appreciate you helping out, spreading the word.
So, how's your day so far, Richie?
Oh, it's good. I'm over on the West Coast, so it's kind of early. Just kind of getting the day going. It seems like it's a beautiful day out, so gonna go try and enjoy some of that, weekend
Yeah.
life.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, Richie, your seventh full-length album, Savage New Times, is to be out on August 15th. So, would you like to tell me a bit on the songwriting and production that goes behind this new upcoming album?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's a very growth oriented album in terms of the band, our our sound, our direction, um, the production. I think everything was really locked into where we have, been trying to go with
Mm.
the Incite sound and the feel. You know, I think we didn't leave anything, on the table. We did exactly like what we wanted to do. We had a whole entire great team around us to like kind of everything, man. Like all came together just so organically, and we truly couldn't be happier than we are with how this turned out and how the response has been
Mm.
from the metalhead community. And it's just it's really exciting, especially just putting out a new song this week and the feedback being really incredible to it. So
Yeah.
um, it just kind of defines, how this record felt when we were making it. To see everybody just being really fired up about it. It's really cool. It's exciting.
Fantastic, fantastic. And does Savage New Times has some kind of concept or a theme that it was focused on?
I think Savage New Times is kind of like that idea of just um, everything right now.
Mm.
I don't think there's one thing in the whole world that's not fucked up right now. At least that's how it seems on like a global scale. I think that's kind of like what we're entering are these
Mm.
savage new times. And I love how not only does it like describe current reality, but also like each band member's kind of journey over the last few years. It's been a lot of ups and downs and waiting and just being very patient
Mm.
for this moment to arrive. And I'm thrilled with the artwork coalescing with the underlying album meaning, and each song I think really became extremely personal and relatable. I think a lot of us uh will be able to lyrically feed off of the topics and the substance that um I uh I came up with on this album. It's really exciting.
Fantastic, fantastic. And really had a pleasure to listen to this album in its entirety. And I have to say, one hell of an album, man. I totally love each and every song from this album. You are legendary, man. Like from the start till the end, it was an epic album. Like there's not even a single song that you have to let out from this album. So not a so go fix one song. Oh, this is the greatest hit from this album. It's not like that. Like totally, you nailed each and every song to this song. So I want to thank you so much for putting up all this awesomeness into this album. And as a band, as a creator, what are your thoughts and how do you feel about the outcome, Richie?
Oh, like to hear you say that is exactly I think how us as a band feel about it. You know, it was like um every song just didn't let up. It's a complete journey or a complete ride, and I think that's the exciting thing that people will come to learn with the album is that like once it finishes, you instantly want to just replay the whole thing again and again and again. And I think as you listen to it more, you catch more things that are going on in terms of the music or the lyrical aspect of it. So to hear you say that is awesome because that's literally what we were wanting and looking for. And I think this is kind of that like coming into our own record. We we've done 6 records prior to this one, and
Yeah.
I think this is like finally harnesses the full power of what this band can be when we're just all locked in. Having the new guitar player Layne, this being
Yeah.
his first record, I think he brought that Canadian power that you need in music.
Yeah.
So it's just we're so happy, and I can't wait for everyone to hear the other 5 songs from this record. So Doubts and the Fears has turned out to be like one of my favorite songs, as well as like Chucked Off. So
Yeah.
I think the singles are giving everybody a great idea of how this record is, but then the complete listen to I think fully locks you into how badass this record is, and I
Yeah.
appreciate you saying that.
Thanks, mate. Thanks, absolutely awesome. And earlier this Friday, you released the lyric video for the single Dolores. Great song, amazing work, and the minute I started listening to the song, like it's like total awesomeness, man. And is
Uh,
there a story? Is there? I know there's a story behind the song, but would you like to tell me what exactly was it written on, and any particular reason you want to come up with for this song?
Yeah, I mean, it was a big decision as a band, to do this because it's like an aspect we've always felt like we had is adding this more melodic, dark kind of essence to our sound. And, obviously people know we can write a heavy, pit raging,
Yeah.
metal song. So this was like, let's show everybody that we are incredible musicians at the same time as being able to just start pit music all day. So when we were doing it and we began like pre-production on it, I was quite nervous, but our bass player L is kind of like the metal gatekeeper, sort of say. And everything he was hearing and reading my lyrics, he was pumped on it. It had that kind of black metal, melodic, a lot of different aspects into that track. And I think once we heard the end result of it, it probably became all of our favorite song on this album. And I think yeah, it's really showing people the next step that we can take, or even not just fully embrace but add to our current sound. And I come back to being like on our 7th record and really just starting to find our groove, and making songs that I think fully represent us as a band and who we are. So Dolores just kind of surprised me. It's a really personal song about an old school dream, but for it to like resonate with everybody as much as it is, it's truly a surprise to me for sure.
Beautiful, beautiful. And the album is almost 3 months away from now. And are there more singles coming out before the release of the album?
Yeah, we have 2 more still. We're gonna end up doing
Mm.
5 singles, which I think is just so cool. And again, that's like going back to like where people will listen and then hear 5 other songs that are
Yeah.
just totally gonna blow them away, even as much as those singles that came out. So I think next month they're gonna put out the song Lies, which will be a really cool video. It's actually we played a show last year and we had everybody in the crowd film with their cell phones. So we took all that footage from all these people's cell phones from like different angles in the crowd and different pieces, and we're putting it all together, and that'll be the next video, which I'm so excited for, because A, that song kicks ass, and then B, the differential feel in this video is going to be, I think, exciting to a lot of people. And then I think when the album comes out the day of, we're releasing the title track, actually, Savage New Times.
Yeah.
And we had Jim Laveau, who did our Just a Rap video, do this one as well. So I think it'll totally give everybody that kick-ass perspective of Incite as a band, or, you know, what this record is going to be all about. It's pretty cool. I can't wait to see these next two videos.
Awesome. And are there any big plans coming up for the day of the release?
We haven't figured that out yet. We're trying to work something with like a Sirius to come in and do like the taco party CD release kind of shows that they do. But as of now, that's like, you know, my birthday's a couple days after the album comes out. And that might be our 1 month of the whole rest of the year to kind of just have a little bit of chill time. So, you know, I might just be home kind of enjoying the feedback of everybody finally getting to hear the whole thing. But everything around that's busy. We have the Summer Slaughter tour, obviously, that starts in July with, you know, HATEBREED and Malevolence and Fugitive. So that's going to be extremely exciting. And then we have another tour in September, October, I believe, that's going to be really cool. And hopefully, you know, it touches more cities than obviously the Summer Slaughter does, because, you know, we want to play everywhere. We've been, you know, relatively quiet in terms of concerts over the last year and a half. So that's something we know we have to hit really hard for the rest of the year, and then see where it goes from there. You know, hopefully, you know, it's #1 in the world, and we're just playing with Slipknot and, you know, Metallica by next year.
Amazing. And any cool merchandise plans for the release of this album?
Yeah, actually, you know, we're getting to do like the limited edition puke green vinyl, which you know, we're really excited about. We haven't had many vinyls as a band. You know, we've kind of started to get them going. You know, being on an independent label for so long was a little difficult to get those awesome little trinkets that we wanted to do. But yeah, we're gonna have some killer new shirts. Elle has designed some really cool stuff for the upcoming tours, and you know, hopefully we'll get to introduce like the first Incite rolling papers this year, and grinder set and all that kind of stuff for all of our weed smokers out there. And, you know, I think it'll be cool. It'll be really cool.
Amazing. And the band's history goes way back to 2004, and you have 2 EPs, and with this album, 7 full-length albums, 2 split albums, and a fantastic musicianship, and a career of a lifetime over these years. And as a band, as a frontman, how do you feel about the road that you have traveled so far?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really impressed and blown away, you know, when I sit back and think that it's been 20 years and this is our 7th album, you know, and there's been a lot of ups and downs. You know, I think recently, though, the band is like kind of refound that early day excitement and energy, and, you know, kind of still coming out of like the post-COVID world where, you know, we're like feeling just incredible, just like excitement to just hit the road to get this record out. You know, it took a long time to like really find the right guys that were meant to be in this band, or to like harness that right sound, or, you know, find the right manager, whatever it was. And it's kind of all just finally clicking and coalescing with itself right now. And, you know, I think that journey was like just a learning experience, you know, for me, for, Elle and Lennon to like really just feel out what music was all about, learning the ins and out of touring and the business side and everything like that. So it's been an incredible journey, and I don't think we're close to calling it a day. I think we're as musicians, yeah, we're like just finally getting to where we want to be, and that's exciting because the more normal thing for a band is to get bigger when they first start and then kind of chase that success for the rest of their career. And we've had a really good just kind of steady incline and kept it a lot funner and didn't put so much pressure on each other, just really had a good time being a band. And now it's like let's go to this next step with it and take it to more people around the world, so they can enjoy what we do.
Absolutely. Beautiful. And I know there has been a lot of great moments over the years, but is there something special that has happened in this few years that you want to share with me?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the big things, we accomplished as a band was, playing Bloodstock in 2019. That was kind of like always a dream for all of us to like play those big time European festivals, and getting that chance finally was so cool, and something I'll never forget. When you walk out on that stage and you see 20,000 people, it's just it's like a feeling you can't describe. It's so electric and energetic, and then we got to do right as the world was closing, Hell and Heaven Fest in Mexico City, which again, that was like 40,000 people. It was just unbelievable. And that really like led us into the COVID thing. And then it was like, as soon as that ended, we were just like so excited to be playing again and doing all this stuff. So we've shared so many happy moments. And I go back to like 2023 when we did London for the first time again in like 4 years, and it just was like absolute mayhem. The whole crowd, the whole place was just like this energy going off, man. That was just so special. And I think it kind of like showed us that like we didn't lose that momentum as a band, so it was a real special moment for us to see a crowd react like that after not being there for 3 or 4 years.
Amazing. And I believe Savage New Times deserves an extensive worldwide touring. Like I want every people around the world have to listen or see your live concert with the entire album being performed to them, and it will be a real great thing, I would say. But it's all all on you. I think it would be really great to do that. Yeah,
I agree. We are like dying to go to like Asia. We've never been to Asia. We've only been to Australia one time. That was like 10 years ago. We went to South America once. So we have a lot of places that we want to bring this record to. I think now's that time for us to finally be able to fully put Incite out there and put us on the map and become one of those big metal bands, that's reminiscent of like the early days of my father, when they were going to like Indonesia and Russia and all these places to go play, and we really want to do that because my big thing is like, there's metalheads all over the world, and they deserve to see these concerts just as much as Europe and America do, and hopefully you start to see that. I think you're noticing more bands are going to like China and India and Bahrain and all these places, that are finally like opening up. Like I've been seeing so many cool bands from India lately, man. It's like they're having this like total explosion of a metal scene over there, man. And it's like, you look at places like China, there's over 1 billion people there. I mean, it's like, there's got to be metalheads there that are dying to see some good shows. And it's just we want to be one of those bands that's on the forefront of touring to places like the Philippines and Thailand and all those, man. I really look forward to like becoming more of that international force, like like my dad was doing when he was starting
Yeah,
Sepultura.
yeah, that would be amazing, Richie. And
I,
Richie, finally, any message that you have for the fans around the world?
yeah, I just want to say, thanks for the years of support, for the people that have been here a long time, checking us out, always buying the records and, checking us out live. And I just want everybody to just check this record out. Go to YouTube, go to Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your music, and, check this out. Tell a friend about it. Do whatever you can, because, I think we're a band that people may have slept on for a while, and now I think it's that time where it's like everybody's kind of waking up and going, damn, these guys got 7 killer albums. So just spread the word. Like thank you so much for taking the time to let some people know about this record and what Incite's been up to, and where we are going. So yeah, just keep it heavy, and hopefully I'll see some of you guys at the Summer Slaughter tour and beyond.
Absolutely, absolutely, Richie. And Richie, I want to thank you so much for giving me today this wonderful time to have this amazing interview with you to talk on your upcoming new album, Savage New Times. Like I said earlier, a killer album, totally loving it. And I know a lot of metalheads is come fall in love with this album, and it's gonna be epic, brother. And
Thank you so much, man.
thank you, and you have a great day ahead. And see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.
Hell yeah, I'll see you in the pit, brother. Thank you.
You too. Bye.
Later, buddy.